Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's Uncle TJ at it again, and we have a special treat for you all today. Hey, listen, we're going to go ahead and do a pineapple pound cake. And I'm not sure if I want to do a glaze or not, but if I do, it'll probably be a cream cheese glaze. Had a mishap with my cream cheese just a moment ago because I put the cream cheese in my mixer and I really shouldn't have done that at all. So that really should have been for the glaze. So I kind of gave you a hint on what I'm going to be doing. So listen, let's go ahead and break this down for you. You know what we're doing. We have 3 cups of sifted Swan's Down cake flour. We have 3 cups of granulated sugar. Now we have a cup of evaporated milk. Switching it up a little bit today. We have 6 room temperature large eggs, and we have 3 sticks of butter, and it's room temperature. Now, in here for this, because I wanted to get the orange extract, but I didn't get off my lazy bum to go do it, so it is what it is. So we have a tablespoon of vanilla. We have a teaspoon of creme bouquet. Y'all remember the creme bouquet, right? Just in case you don't know. Just in case you don't know, this is the creme bouquet. Now, I can't find this here in Tampa, so I had to order from Amazon. It is what it is. And we have a teaspoon of lemon extract. Now, I do have a cup of crushed pineapple, but what I did is I took my whatever you call that thing, emulsifier, I'll call it that. It's a little stick mixer, that's what it is. And I pulverize it a little bit more so that way it doesn't sink to the bottom of the pan. And we're going to be using today our Nordic pan. And we're going to make sure that this is sprayed down real well with we have Pam this time. Normally you can use either Baker's Joy or the Pam. Make sure that it's the one mixed with flour, right? All right. So let's go ahead and get this party started, and we'll be right back to you. All right. So what we want to do first, of course, as you all know, is we want to cream our butter and sugar together. We want to go ahead and do that for at least 10 minutes. Well, really, at least 8 minutes. 10 minutes is best. What you want to do is make sure that we fully incorporate air into our butter and sugar mixture. And then you'll see that it will get to a point of turning from yellow to a fluffy, creamy white. And it will also look like almost like ice cream. So don't rush this process. Make sure that your butter is at room temperature. Okay. So we want to make sure that we are scraping down our bowl as we go. We want to make sure that everything is very, very incorporated. And again, this is a process we do not want to rush. So now we're going to go ahead and add our eggs one at a time. We want to add those until they are incorporated into the mixture, okay, into our batter. All right. So here we go. We are going to go ahead and add our flavoring here. This is the vanilla, the lemon, and the we do creme bouquet. Okay. Next, we want to go ahead and add our dry and our liquid, which is flour. In this case, evaporated milk. So we want to start with dry. We want to end with dry. Make sure you start it off slow, so that way you don't get flour all over the place. And then increase the speed as you see it start to incorporate. As it starts to incorporate, you want to go ahead and add in half of your milk until that disappears. And then when you get ready to add in your flour, your next phase of flour, we want to turn your mixer off and go ahead and add your flour there, being very, very careful because flour inevitably will get all over the place because it's simply like dust. And again, start your mixture off slow so that way you don't get flour all over the place. And you just want to mix just until incorporated. You do not want to overmix. If you overmix, it will make your cake tough because you've created glutens, similar to how our bread is made. So that's why they knead bread over and over again. But with this, with a cake, you do not want to create any glutens. But here we're going to go ahead and add the rest of our flour. And again, the same process. Start your mixer off slow. So that way until it gets fully incorporated. So here, I just get it to where I just don't see the flour anymore. And I turn it up to make sure that the mixture is in there. That is fully incorporated. Then I stop and I go ahead and turn it off, and I go ahead and remove my bowl from the mixer, and then I go ahead and hand mix it. So here we see that we're hand mixing in our flour, making sure that we're scraping our sides, we're scraping the bottom of the bowl. This will not over mix your flour because you're doing it by hand. Can you do it? Yeah, you can over mix it by hand, but here, you're really just folding the flour in. You're making sure that the bottoms are scraped, making sure that you don't have any flour that is settled at the bottom of your bowl. So that way you can go ahead and get a nice, rich cake, because this is what we want. We want it to be fully incorporated because you want the finished product that you work so hard to have to be nice and flavorful, and you don't want it to be tough or anything like that. So now we're getting ready to go and put our product into our flute pan. Here you want to be very, very careful. If you do not have the strength to hold your mixing bowl, then what you want to do is just set it down and get a spoon and spoon it into your flute pan. So this way you're just careful that you don't drop this and cause a mess. Find a nice flat surface. Make sure that you don't have any distractions or anything like that while you're doing this process. Number one, we don't want to get any batter in that flute hole. We don't want to get batter all up on the sides or anything like that. And we don't want to get batter on our counter or anything like that. So this is what we were doing here. We're carefully getting everything in. We want to get all that batter into that bowl. Listen, if your mother was like mine, she kind of would leave stuff on the sides so that we could eat that batter. My mom was notorious for that. But listen, I don't have any kids in the house. It's just me and my wife. So we're good. We don't need it. So as you can see, that bowl is empty. So that went into the sink. And while I was off camera, hey, what you don't see, you won't miss. So we want to go ahead and make sure that we're spreading out that batter to make sure that it's nice and even. And also you want to make sure that you are either kind of just lightly dropping the pan on the counter or hitting the bottom of the pan. As you can see, we're shaking it up. We're hitting the bottom of it. What this is doing is releasing any air pockets that might be in there. If you have air pockets in there, what will happen when the heat hits it, it will expand and burn your batter. So here we're going to go ahead and create our glaze. So what we've done here is we're just taking the cream cheese together with the confectioner's sugar as well. And we're going to go ahead and use the leftover pineapple juice that we had in conjunction with some milk. And we're just going to add some of those in there. Be very, very careful to just add just a little bit, because if you're not careful, it can make your glaze too loose, and you don't want that. And make sure, you want to add in your flavors. The same flavors you put into your cake is the same flavors you want to add to your glaze. Now, if you have a pineapple extract, if you were blessed enough to be able to find that, hey, by all means, go right ahead and just use that. But adding the vanilla kind of out adds a little bit of a balanced flavor. And the creme bouquet, you can never go wrong with adding that creme bouquet onto your glaze. So here we go. We're just making sure that we're just adding our liquids prior to, and again, we're putting in that pineapple just to add that fresh pineapple flavor. It's so delightful. Listen, you cannot go wrong with this. You cannot go wrong with this. And now we're going to go ahead and add our powdered sugar. Listen, I eyeball this. I mean, I've been doing it for quite some time now, and you just eyeball it to about how much you need. Once you get to a point to where as you have done this a while, you know how much to add. But just for people who want to know, you can use about a cup and a half of confectioner's sugar or powdered sugar, and begin to, once you've added in a little bit of your juices and a little bit of the milk, start stirring to see where you go. And you'll know when you need some more, because it'll start to get hard and crumbly and things of that nature, and so that's when you want to start adding just a little bit of liquid at a time. You can alternate between the in this case I used the rest of the evaporated milk. So you can just add in a little bit as you go. Whatever liquid you put in there, just put in a little bit and begin to stir. And then, you can always pick it up and look at it, with your spoon and see how it looks when it flows back in. You'll know exactly what you want when you get there. Okay. So just enjoy this process and look at that. That just is beautiful. Enjoy this process. Take it slow. Don't be in a hurry while you're doing this process. Okay, my friend? This is the joy of baking, because the process is just as wonderful as the consumption. Look at that. That is beautiful. And I wish that you can smell this. It just smells incredible. It smells like pineapple. So you don't smell the evaporated milk. You smell the pineapple, my friend. So again, you just want to enjoy this process. I know a lot of people like to measure and things of that nature. Listen, get used to doing it like this. This is the best way to make your glaze. Adding in a little bit at a time, being careful, don't be in a hurry, and things of that nature. As you can see, we're ready. So what we're going to do now with our finished product, look at that cake, isn't it beautiful? We're going to go ahead and add those crushed pineapple on top of the cake. And we're just going to spread those out just gently to try to keep everything on top of the cake. If some falls on in the middle, hey, no worries, no biggie. So we just want to make sure that we put it around that entire top of the cake, so everybody has a taste of that fresh pineapple. My goodness, let me tell you something. When you bite into this and you taste that fresh pineapple mixed with your glaze, and then that wonderful cake that you've infused with pineapple, you have this joyous expression of sweetness in your dessert, meant to be enjoyed. Okay, so we put that on there, and now we're going to go ahead and get ready to put our glaze on top of that. Look at that! Look at that glaze! Look at that glaze! So you just want to spoon it. If you want to, you can spoon it, or you can pour it. Whatever the case may be, you want to make sure that you're trying to get all of those pineapples covered in that glaze. Now, if you're fancy, you can do it along the edges and watch it drip along the side and things of that nature. You can do this however way you want it. Listen, this baby is yours. This is your cake. You don't have to do it like Uncle TJ, but do it like Auntie Mary. You can do it like Aunt Flossie. You can do it however way you want to do it. Listen, this baby is yours, because the finished product ought to represent you. Okay? So just enjoy this process. This is why I love baking. I love cooking. The aromatics, the experimentation. Sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. It's quite all right. So I want you all to enjoy this process. Listen, when you get done with putting your glaze on there, make sure you let it sit probably for about 30 minutes. So just let it kind of set up there a little bit. kind of let it cool a little bit more. There's no butter in the glaze or anything like that. So hey, listen, you can go at it. So look at that finished product. And so what we're going to do also here is we're going to go ahead and get it ready because half of that thing is going to a very, very dear friend of mine who goes to my church. And then half of it, hey, you already know. Enjoy this and have fun.